This is a Psion Organiser 2. It's been the subject of quite a few videos I've made recently. It's got two data pack slots, and on the top it's got a top slot, and you can plug hardware in there for things like barcode readers, RS-232 interfaces to computers, all sorts of things. And the data pack slots are used for storage. Now, before the Psion Organiser 2, there was the Psion Organiser, or Organiser 1, and it's very similar. Pull those off. It's very similar to the 2. It's got the data pack slots on the back, but what it doesn't have is a top slot. So you can't plug hardware into the top slot because there isn't one. So what did you do if you wanted to attach this to a computer? Well, you used one of these, which is a link-up pack. Now, that came with this, which is an ordinary data pack that you plugged into one of the data pack slots, and you can load the code with that, and this, which is the cable. Now, on one end, 25-way D-type, on the other end you've got a data pack, and this data pack isn't storage, it's hardware. It's got the circuitry for interfacing to the RS-232, and that plugs in there. Now, having hardware in a data pack like that is something that the Organiser 2 can do. It's not something that is done very often, but it is possible. So in here you can go to setup, and that is the code that is on the link-up pack data pack. And if you go in there, you can change various parameters as you'd expect. Parity, baud rate, and so on. But what we're going to do is just exit. So, what I've done is I've made this PCB here, and that is a copy of the circuitry that is on that data pack. So you can now have a modern version of this. So let me turn this off and remove that. We'll keep the data pack software code in there, and if I plug this in, so this is my version, it's almost identical. It's just I've used some extra, well, an extra surface mount component for the -5 volt generation, and I've also got a different layout of components. It's the same circuit but a different layout. And if we turn that on, we can then, if I can find it, go to setup. You seem to have to go in and exit. I know it's set up correctly by default for what I want to do here, and come out, because now you get the send L option. So that's for sending a line. So that will send down here 9600 RS-232 at RS-232 voltages to whatever's on the other end. And what's on the other end? Well, Workabout. I've been fiddling with a few workabouts at the moment, and what it does have is a comms package. So this is really a series 3, and it's got the comms code or something very similar built into it. This can actually go above 9600 as well, which is nice. So these two are now connected together through my rather hokey cable I've got into the RS-232 connection of the Workabout. And if I send Psion, you can see it's appeared over here. If I clear that and move to the next menu option, which is receive line, we can then type in Workabout and send that, and you can see that's appeared over on the Psion Organiser 1. So we've got a link here between two Psions separated by, whoa, probably about 10 years I should think, coming on for, maybe more, and they're talking over RS-232 using a new PCB for the link-up pack, which means you don't have to hunt around for link-up packs now. I can make them. The other thing that is needed is obviously the code, but it turns out that the Psion Organiser 1 uses, if not the same, very, very similar data packs to the Organiser 2, so it should be possible to get a Organiser 2 data pack and actually put the code for the link-up pack on one of those, and then you'd have the full setup that you had in the original.